Have for us today, Lena?
This door.
Took me a while to realize, but LMAO, it's X Games for the wheelchairids.
Clock ticking sounds intensifies.
Handicap doesn't always mean wheelchairs.
Yes, but it is a disability that is considered for those codes, such as certain door handles for people with grip issues.
Let's just take another look at the switch.
It's the handicap sign.
It's not just wheelchairs. Next.
Smile for the camera.
Wow, the single step he took before he gave that thumbs up probably saved his life.
What are the odds?
He was inches away from our watch peopledy.
That driver was seconds away from a double kill.
Speaking of our watch peopledy, it says it's quarantined when I try to visit it. Is there anything like that sub around?
It's fine, you can just ignore the quarantine thing and use it normally.
Whenever I click it, it just brings me back to the post. Won't let me look at the profile. Next.
Just another day choosing a burger.
Hamburglar really took on a dark vibe after the early 2s.
I suggest you get a McPunch.
Or just a McKnuckle sandwich.
Sue, which sandwich did you choose?
The knuckle sandwich.
Choosing burgers.
Lol, there is sub for it. Next.
These Pokemon toys.
Pikachu toys shouldn't remind me so much of Donnie Darko. They're all nightmare-inducing though.
Leviosa.
Thanks, I hate it.
What the actual fuck, when did Pokemon get into meth?
So where can I get these? Asking for a friend.
Drawfee merchandise.
Burring, huh? Next.
Some birds hanging out.
What the heck did I just witness? Lol.
Probably mating dance.
I can see this being the new trending dance.
I just hear them going, BROOOOOO.
You wanna go?
Squad goals.
Wow, just like humans do. Crazy. Next.
A plane chasing its own shadow.
Yo, that's sick.
That's fucking cool. It's signaling for planemen, it's in distress.
This happens in areas with high smog level or any other kind of particles in the air. Look up volumetric lighting. It's that, but inverse.
Yeah, it was a real hazy morning. Still can't believe how long the shadow is. And how clearly defined it is against the blue of the sky.
True, might have been an impressive view in real life.
It was. Never crossed my mind that it was possible.
I don't understand how there's a shadow in the sky. Next.
Jump.
All he wanted was a Pepsi.
And she WOULDNT give it to me.
I was wondering whether I'd get a suicidal tendencies or a Cypress Hill reference first if at all, and I must say I'm quite happy with what I got.
He needs some milk.
Please tell me he's not jumping over crab cakes, vaulting the remains of his comrades only to die in a pit trap. Because that would just be too real for me right now.
Karma roulette.
NSFL on this one, bud. Thank you for joining us, Lena. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having me, Stacy.
And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Now you're going to hear a poem. Stanzas to a Lady, with the poems of Camons, this votive pledge of fond esteem, perhaps, dear girl, for me tholt prize, it sings of love's enchanting dream, a theme we never can despise, who blames it but the envious fool, the old and DSS appointed maid, or pupil of the prudish school, in single sorrow doomd to fade, then read, dear girl, with feeling read, for thou wilt ne'er be one of those, to thee in vain I shall not plead, in pity for the poet's woes, he was in sooth a genuine bard, his was no faint, fictitious flame, like his, may love be thy reward, but not thy hapless fate the same. Translation from Horace, Justum et tenacem propositi virum, c. The man of firm and noble soul, no factious clamours can control, no threatening tyrant's darkling brow, can swerve him from his just intent, gales the warring waves which plough, by Auster on the billows spent, to curb the Adriatic main, would awe his fixed, determined mind in vain, aye, and the red right arm of Jove, hurtling his lightnings from above, with all his terrors, there unfurled, he would unmoved, unawed, behold, the flames of an expiring world, again in crashing chaos rolled, in vast promiscuous ruin hurled, might light his glorious funeral pile, still dauntless midst the wreck of earth head smile. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. Let's have a look at some artworks. The equestrian portrait of Charles I, also known as Charles I on horseback, is an oil painting on canvas by Anthony van Dyck, showing Charles I on horseback. Charles I had become King of England, Scotland and Ireland in 1625 on the death of his father James I, and Van Dyck became Charles's principal painter in ordinary in 1632. The portrait is thought to have been painted in about 1637–38, only a few years before the English Civil War broke out in 1642. It is one of many portraits of Charles by Van Dyck, including several equestrian portraits. It is held by the National Gallery, London. This is the second equestrian portrait of Charles to be painted by Van Dyck. Charles is depicted wearing the same suit of armor, riding a heavily muscled dun horse with a peculiarly small head. To the right, a page proffers a helmet. Charles appears as a heroic philosopher-king, contemplatively surveying his domain, carrying a baton of command, with a long sword to his side, and wearing the medallion of the Sovereign of the Order of the Garter. His melancholy, distant expression was seen as a sign of wisdom. He wears the same suit of tilt armor in both equestrian paintings, although the last royal tilt had been held in 1616, and another proposed in 1622 had been abandoned due to bad weather. A tablet tied to a branch reads Carolus I Rex Magnae Britaniae, Charles I King of Great Britain, a political statement at the time, only 33 years after James had united the crowns of Scotland and England, and proclaimed himself King of Great Britain, and nearly 70 years before the Acts of Union legally created the Kingdom of Great Britain. The Lute Player is a painting from c. 1612–1615 by the Italian artist Orazio Gentileschi (1563–1639), depicting a young woman in a golden dress with a lute. Gentileschi came into contact with the Italian painter Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio (1571–1610) during Gentileschi's early 1600s Rome period. He adopted Caravaggio's method of painting from life using dramatic lighting and is considered one of the leading Caravaggisti. Nevertheless, he developed his own lyrical manner using soft, subdued tones. The Lute Player depicts a young woman in a golden dress with a lute, turned away from the observer, concentrating her attention on the 19-stringed instrument and listening intently to a note. She may be tuning her lute in anticipation of a concert, as shown by the assortment of recorders, a cornetto and violin, and the songbooks lying open on the table before her. The painting is rich in its renderings of fabrics. It can be taken as a genre scene or as a portrait, but since many of the paintings of its time included some allegorical message, it can also represent the allegory of hearing or a portrayal of Harmonia, the Greek goddess of harmony and concord. The lute player is influenced by Caravaggio's early genre scenes, especially Caravaggio's own c. 1600 painting of the same name in the Hermitage Museum. In turn, Gentileschi's painting was the inspiration for Giuseppe Crespi's c. 1700–1705 woman playing a lute. Christensen and Mann note that Gentileschi returned to Caravaggio's early Georgianesque work, exemplified by paintings such as the c. We'll be right back after these messages.